NASA just discovered the largest object in the universe. NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory and the National Science Foundation-funded Atacama Cosmology Telescope, ACT, in Chile have discovered the largest galaxy cluster ever seen in the distant cosmos. What's bigger than an asteroid, smaller than a planet, completely red, and a long distance away? NASA-funded researchers, led by an astronomer at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, CALIP, have uncovered the answer: a strange planet-like body orbiting our Sun. The object is 3 times as far away from Earth as Pluto, making it the solar system's most distant object. From that distance, the Sun appears so small that you could completely block it out with the head of a pin, said Dr. Mike Brown, the research team's leader and associate professor of planetary astronomy at Caltech. The object, dubbed Sedna by the public, is 13 billion kilometers, 8 billion miles, from Earth. This is most likely the first observation of the long-theorized Hewitt cloud, a distant storehouse of small frozen bodies that feeds the comets that passed Earth. A rendering of the newly discovered planet-like object, called Sedna by an artist. Instead of a huge, warm disk visible from Earth, the Sun appears as a brilliant star. A possible little moon may be seen in the distance, which astronomers say may be orbiting this faraway rock. NASA/JPL Caltech provided this image. Sedna is also famous for its size and reddish tint, which makes it the second reddest object in the solar system after Mars. It is possibly the largest object discovered in the solar system since Pluto was discovered in 1930, with an estimated size of 3/4 the size of Pluto. Brown discovered the planetoid on November 14, 2003 with DRS. Chad Trujillo of the Gemini Observatory in Hawaii and David Rabinovitz of Yale University in New Haven, Con, using the 48-inch Samuel Oschin telescope at Caltech's Palomar Observatory near San Diego. The object was seen by telescopes in Chile, Spain, Arizona, and Hawaii within days, and NASA's new Spitzer Space Telescope looked for it soon after. Sedna is located distant from the Sun in the coldest known part of our solar system, with temperatures never exceeding -240 degrees Celsius, -400 Fahrenheit. Because it only passes so close to the Sun during its 10,500-year orbit around the Sun, the planetoid is usually even cooler. Sedna is 130 billion kilometers, 84 billion miles from the Sun. That is 900 times Earth's distance from the Sun, miles away at its furthest point. This cluster is the most enormous, hottest, and emits the most X-rays of any known cluster at this distance or beyond, said the study's lead author, Felipe Menento of Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Galaxy clusters, the universe's largest objects, held together by gravity, are formed by merging smaller groups or subclusters of galaxies. Clusters can be utilized to explore these unexplained phenomena, because the formation process is dependent on the amount of dark matter and dark energy in the universe. Dark matter is material that can be assumed to exist based on gravitational effects but does not emit or absorb visible light. El Gordo is the site of 2 galaxy clusters colliding at several million miles per hour. According to X-ray data from Chandra and the European Southern Telescope's Very Large Telescope, an 8-meter optical observatory in Chile. According to Rabinovitz, there is indirect evidence that Sedna has a moon. The researchers want to use NASA's Hubble Space Telescope to investigate this possibility. Trujillo has started looking at the object's surface with the 8-meter, 26-foot Frederick C. Gillett Gemini Telescope on Mauna Kea, Hawaii, which is one of the world's largest optical/infrared telescopes. "We still don't know what's on the surface of this corpse," he stated. "It's not at all what we expected, nor is it what we can now explain." Over the following 72 years, Sedna will get closer and brighter before embarking on its 10,500-year journey to the extreme reaches of the solar system and returning. Normal matter, primarily constituted of hot, X-ray brilliant gas, has been torn apart from dark matter in El Gordo, just as it has done in the Bullet cluster. The impact slowed down the hot gas in each cluster, but not the dark matter. "This is the first time we discovered a structure like the Bullet cluster at such a great distance," said Cristobal Sifon of Santiago's Pontifici Universidad Católica de Chile, PUC. "It's like the saying goes, if you want to know where you're going, you must first comprehend where you've been." El Gordo's normal matter, which is predominantly made up of hot, X-ray bright gas, has been pulled apart from dark matter in the same way that the Bullet cluster has. The heated gas in each cluster was slowed by the impact, but not the dark matter. Cristobal Sifon of Santiago's Pontifici Universidad Católica de Chile remarked, This is the first time we detected a structure like the bullet cluster at such a wide distance. But it's like the old adage goes, to know where you're going, you must first understand where you've been. This is precisely what the most recent study attempted to assess, and this is precisely what they discovered. They couldn't see anything with individual filaments, but when thousands of threads were combined, the rotational effects were clearly visible. We find that these objects, too, display vortical motion consistent with rotation by stacking thousands of filaments together and examining the velocity of galaxies, perpendicular to the filament's axis, via their redshift and blueshift, making them the largest objects known to have angular momentum. The rotation signal strength is directly proportional to the viewing angle and the filament's dynamical condition. When seen edge-on, filament rotation is more easily detected. El Gordo is the site of two galaxy clusters colliding at several million miles per hour, according to X-ray data from Chandra and the European Southern Telescope's Very Large Telescope, an 8-meter optical observatory in Chile. El Gordo is similar to the well-known Bullet Cluster, which is located over 4 billion light-years closer to Earth. Normal matter, primarily constituted of hot, X-ray brilliant gas, has been torn apart from dark matter in El Gordo, just as it has done in the Bullet Cluster. The impact slowed down the hot gas in each cluster, but not the dark matter. It's like the saying goes, if you want to know where you're going, you must first comprehend where you've been. These findings on El Gordo will be presented at the American Astronomical Society's 219th meeting in Austin, Texas. The Astrophysical Journal has accepted an article describing these findings for publication. For NASA's Science Mission Directorate in Washington, the Chandra program is managed by NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Chandra's scientific and flight operations are managed by the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The largest and farthest reservoir of water ever observed in the universe has been discovered by two teams of astronomers. More than 12 billion light-years distant, a gigantic, feeding black hole known as a quasar is surrounded by water equivalent to 140 trillion times all the water in the world's ocean. The environment around this quasar is quite unique in that it's producing this massive amount of water, said Matt Bradford of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. It's yet further proof that water has always been present in the universe, even from the beginning. Bradford is a member of one of the discovery teams. The Astrophysical Journal letters published his team's research, which was partially financed by NASA. The largest and farthest reservoir of water ever observed in the universe has been discovered by two teams of astronomers. More than 12 billion light-years distant, a gigantic, feeding black hole known as a quasar is surrounded by water equivalent to 140 trillion times all the water in the world's ocean. The environment around this quasar is quite unique in that it's producing this massive amount of water, said Matt Bradford of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. It's yet further proof that water has always been present in the universe, even from the beginning. Bradford is a member of one of the discovery teams. Dwarf planets have recently gotten a lot of attention. Since the discovery of Eris in 2005 and the subsequent controversy over the appropriate definition of the term planet, the phrase has been used to refer to planets beyond Neptune that are comparable in size to Pluto. Needless to say, it has been a contentious issue that is unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. In the meanwhile, the category has been tentatively applied to a number of trans-Neptunian objects identified before or after Eris discovery. Sedna, discovered in the solar system's farthest limits in 2003, is most likely a dwarf planet. So that's it for today's video. If you have watched the video till the end, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And this is the Spacist signing off.